The Lakers may not know exactly who they are, but at least they have their health. On the eve of the winter meetings, the Dodgers retain a reliever from last year's roster. And are the Chargers wasting Khalil Mack? Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is December 3rd, 2023. It is a misty Sunday in St. Louis, Missouri. But that's okay because we've added more new subscribers to the Angeleno Familia. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. It means a lot to me. I'm going to do my best to keep you guys informed about LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Spent a good amount of time last night reaching out back to people who did earlier this week. Before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Anthony Davis went nuts, scored 27 points, grabbed 14 rebounds. Lakers 107, Houston 97. And by the way, for the most part, we're looking at a good day for the most part for the Angelenos. For example, the Clippers rallied from 22 points down to edge Golden State 113 to 112. Paul George scored 25 points as part of the comeback. LAFC has advanced to the MLS Cup Finals with a 2-0 victory over Houston. Ryan Hollingshead scored for the Black and Gold. They will be playing in Columbus for all the marbles on December 9th. USC, meanwhile, they dropped one to 11th ranked Gonzaga, 89-76. Boogie Ellis scored 25 points, but let's be real. The Trojans, they have to level up. There was a lot of hype about this team, but they are just 5-3. So yeah, they're got to start figuring out what the hell you're doing out there, guys. Meanwhile, today, Cleveland is at the Rams at 1:25. The Chargers are going to be at New England at 10 a.m. For New England, Bradley Zapp will be starting at quarterback. But for the Chargers, Keenan Allen is expected to play. Finally, Colorado is at the Kings at 5 o'clock. The Kings, you know, they were 8-1-1 in November. And I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive. CBSSports.com thinks the Kings are the best team in hockey right now. But let's get to the news. The Lakers finally, at long last, appear to be getting healthy, which is good. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt finally played in his first game of the season. Rui Hachimura was also available, by the way, but he did not play in the game. Vanderbilt, he played 14 minutes, didn't score. All of this matters because the going storyline with the Lakers since the start of the season, they don't know who they are. That's what LeBron James said as recently as a couple of days ago. We don't know who we are exactly because we have been missing so many players throughout the course of the year. Now, I would say that while it is true that LeBron James is a little frustrated with the team, quote, we already one of the best defensive teams in the league. So we able to get some of those pieces back. It's just going to heighten what we already do defensively, unquote. Now, I don't know necessarily if he's right. The facts that the stats do not necessarily bear it out. LA is the 14th best defensive rating in the league, and frankly, that's mid. But I will have to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt. Remember, with the exception of a couple of players, say a Cam Reddish, a Jackson Hayes, etc., the Lakers were pretty damn strong defensively after the trade deadline. So I'm assuming that James can see a little bit into the future, which sounds a little silly. But when you're LeBron James, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, veteran reliever and pouty-faced legend Joe Kelly has signed a one-year deal with LA. This is according to the New York Post. Hasn't been confirmed yet by other papers. Chances are it was a pay cut for Kelly. The deal was not disclosed. But the thing is, there was a contract option for Kelly. Had the Dodgers chose to exercise that option, Kelly would have gotten $9.5 million. So we're assuming that after being cut, the Dodgers negotiated down. Also goes to show you, though, like I said, if you've been watching this program for a while, when I was at home, I would have a big whiteboard behind me of all the rumors, all the players the Dodgers are allegedly interested in. A list that got as long as 38 players. And Joe Kelly, not on the list at all. Not on that list. So I'm just giving you that as yet a daily reminder, because the winter meetings are starting today. You're going to hear tons of rumors. This guy's going here. Oh my God, the Dodgers really want this guy, but here come the Giants trying to take him away, etc., etc. Don't fall for it. Be of good cheer. You don't know what's going on in the mind of Andrew Friedman just yet. Besides that, even the winter meetings used to be a very big deal, and yet they're not anymore, because you'll see teams and players hold out into mid to late January before they sign a contract. Now, again, for people who are new to the channel, I'm a former sports writer. I used to cover Major League Baseball a little bit. Things started to change because Scott Boras, a quote-unquote super agent, started to delay his players signing contracts, always with this idea of, if I delay, I might get a better deal. So you're going to hear a lot of rumors over the next couple of days. I'm not necessarily sure you're going to be seeing Shohei Ohtani in Dodger blue in the next 48 hours either. I'm just saying. I don't know for sure. I'm just not going to deal in baseless rumors. ESPN asked a rhetorical question. Are the Chargers wasting Khalil Mack? Well, yeah. But let's not just pin that on the Chargers, right? The Bears wasted Khalil Mack. The Raiders wasted Khalil Mack. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not trying to clown Mack. Love watching the guy play. The dude was once described as a rolling ball of butcher knives. How could you not look forward to having that kind of player on your team? But the poor guy, despite all of his individual excellence, he's played 8 years. He's only gone to 3 playoff games and lost all 3 of them too. This is a guy who's like thirsty to get to a Super Bowl, for Pete's sakes. And can you blame him? So his whole thing is like, yeah, I've been putting up numbers for years, but, quote, I'm at that stage of my career where I just want to effing win. And if you're a Khalil Mack fan, as I am, isn't that the type of thing that makes you even more frustrated over Brandon Staley? Or the Chargers never actually cutting a check to go out and get a decent coach? Just saying. Another thing about the Chargers, do you remember in the preseason there was this guy, Elijah Dotson? The Chargers played the Rams in a preseason game, and Dotson just flat out tore the Rams limb from limb in the second half. And I was telling people to relax. He wasn't necessarily going to be the next big running back in the NFL just from a second half of a preseason game. Yeah, the guy got waived. He's out of a job right now. So be it. A USC blog speculated on the players who would immediately benefit from the tutelage of incoming defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn. And the guy wrote, it's going to be the pass rushers. Duh. So if you're looking for individual players to keep your eye on during spring ball, or even possibly if Lynn is going to coach the bowl game, look to Jameel Muhammad, Braylon Shelby, and if he finally gets his health back, Romello Height. By the way, if you are wondering, there is in fact a buyout money UCLA is going to get because D'Anton Lynn jumped to the other side of town. The Bruins athletic program is going to get $500K, according to the LA Times. Another note, by the way, running back Darwin Barlow has entered the transfer portal, which I believe brings the number to 6 Trojans who are leaving the program. Now, the Clippers have won a few games with James Harden. They've lost more, but they have won a couple, including yesterday, of course. But while they defeated Golden State yesterday, they lost to Golden State out on Thursday. And I would argue that that particular loss gave us a little peeky peek as to what could be holding the Clippers back since they decided to go with yet another superstar on the roster. The Warriors completed 299 passes in that game. The Clippers, 249. In other words, the Warriors, and if you've seen NBA basketball, you know enough about the Warriors. You've seen them for years. Oh, positionless basketball, ball movement all the time, free flow offense, leading to open shots. So you would expect them to pass the ball a lot to get open shots. The Clippers are the exact opposite. Walk the ball up the court, dribble, 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 and just stand there just dribbling the ball until there's about like 4 seconds on the shot clock, and then just chuck something up or try to get a last second guy making a cut. After LA acquired James Harden, the LA Clippers are butt naked last in passes in the NBA per game. Nobody moves without the ball in a Clippers game. Nobody. Now, there might be a two-man game. Maybe James Harden will ask to set up a pick with Paul George or Kawhi. But the other two guys on the court for the Clippers, they're just watching their fingernails grow, guys. There's no ball movement. I mean, say what you want about Russell Westbrook, but at least the guy knew how to make an offense move. He knew how to push tempo. He knew how to facilitate a little quicker. Sean McVay, we always knew the guy was wound a little tight. Very optimistic, but wound up pretty tightly. And so the fear was always like, hey, man, is this guy going to burn himself out, right? Now, Sean McVay tightly wound, but Sean McVay is not stupid. He even has this weird outlook now that he's a new father. Quote, I'm wired a certain way. I look at my little guy, right? And he's just sitting there wide-eyed when he's laying in his crib, and I'm just praying, quote, oh, please don't be like me, man. When your mind is always racing, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I got it all figured out, but I think there's been steps that are sustainable. We're making progress, right? That's all we can do, right? I don't know if Sean McVay is the guy that I would want to go to for fatherhood tips. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or a bad dad. But if you're looking down at your infant son and the only thing you could do is already internalize self-loathing, dude, I hate myself. Please don't grow up like do you really think that that's going to be a major positive force in that kid's life? I'm starting to wonder. And I like Sean McVay. I've got nothing but respect for him. I don't think my dad looked down at me when he was changing my diaper, sitting there going, kid, don't be like me. And I'm sure on some level my dad is up in heaven being thankful that I didn't grow up like him. Just saying. UCLA's offensive lineman Jade Wiley has entered the transfer portal. He came to the Bruins from Colorado. Dion got hired over with the Buffaloes. Wiley saw the writing on the wall. He thought he'd get a chance to start out in LA. Didn't happen. Now, we mentioned a moment ago how Darwin Barlow became the 6th Trojan to enter the transfer portal. Wiley is the 5th Bruins player to enter the portal. We already knew about Dante Moore being one of them. That would leave 3. Receivers Cam Brown, Keegan Jones, and tight end Carson Ryan. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the Lakers now that they're starting to get their health back. Or talk to me about what you think the Dodgers might accomplish during the winter meetings. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thanks again for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.